Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Leeds have just clutched a draw from the jaws of victory. Before we get into it, make sure you go ahead and hit that big red button down below. I cannot believe what I've just seen. We'll come on to Meslier last. But Leeds went 1-0 down fairly early on in the game, and I thought actually we were quite unlucky to go 1-0 down at that early point in the game, because Meslier made a good save, saved it against the post, and it kind of just bounced out to Chris Rigg very unluckily, and they scored. Then I think Leeds started to come back into the game. I thought you had players like Rothwell was unbelievable in that first half. Excellent, best I've seen him play. Some great passing forward, carrying the ball, looking up, options on every time. Played really well. Tanaka as well in that midfield role. Thought those two were brilliant. Ramazani in this game wasn't able to fully get hold of things, but I think Nonto played well. Aronson, again, struggled a little bit, but credit to Sunderland for that. I thought it was mostly an even game. Obviously, they've got some good players. Their midfield is good. The youngsters of Chris Rigg and Joe Bellingham are both really, really good in their midfield, and they kind of were able to get a bit of control at times, but Leeds mostly had the possession. Joe Bellingham was getting the better of Aronson every time, so there was an interesting battle going on in midfield. It was an even game, and at that point, probably 60-odd minutes in, I think I'm going, okay, yeah. A draw probably would be a fair result. I mean, maybe even at half-time I would have said a draw at half-time was definitely certainly a fair result of what had been going on the pitch. Leeds obviously scored their goal. Nonto down the line, crossed the ball into the box. Piru heads it into the bottom corner. Piru was offside, but by a whisker. And in the Premier League it gets called offside, but old-fashioned rules, nah, he's in line. As long as some part of his body is in line with the defender, I think it's fair. Anyway, that's not the offside rule, but the linesman didn't spot it, so Piru goes and scores his header, really good finish. Then Leeds score again, second assist for Nonto as he plays the ball straight back to Firpo after Firpo played it to him, and Firpo just strokes it in the bottom corner, and Leeds are going, okay, yeah, we've gone 2-1 up. If we'd have gone 3-1 up and won 3-1, we'd have gone top of the league on goal difference. If we'd have gone 2-1 up and won the game 2-1, we'd have gone second on joint first, but for goal difference. And it looked for all the world like we were heading towards a 2-1 victory. I can't believe what happened after that. Is there anything to talk about the rest of the game? I think, look, like I said, pretty evenly contested game. Thought both teams were decent at points. Both teams were poor passing at points. Sunderland started off with a little bit of a low block. Once they'd scored, they built into it a little bit, played a bit of a mid-block at times. Sometimes they high-pressed as well. They were very much kind of changing between the way that they wanted to play. Leeds, a little bit different from what we've seen before, because you didn't have Gruev dropping into left back to kind of cover the space that Firpo was vacating when he was going forward and attacking. So you had a little bit of a different midfield, a little bit more of an attacking midfield in terms of Tanaka and Rothwell being willing to be those players who be the number 8, be the box-to-box, go forwards and backwards. Piru, I thought, played well as well, actually, picking the ball up in some good areas and doing some good stuff with it, and going and getting on the end of that one as well. There was a couple of other chances he nearly got on the end. Also thought Piru played well. Eventually, Mateo Joseph came on for him. Mateo Joseph didn't really have a chance to do anything, because at that point, as we come on to it, we were bringing on Schmidt for Ramazani, I think it was. Then we brought on Byron for Nonto, and we were basically saying everybody back, everybody defend. Ball was over on the right-hand side. Our right-hand side, their left-hand side, and Mundell was trying to bring it forward. Bogle came flying in and kicked him in the shins. Silly free kick to give away. Didn't need to do it. Could have just stood there and blocked him off and sent it out for a throw-in. He did it. He took him out. Goalkeeper Patterson for Sunderland then comes up to take this. So it's about halfway inside the Sunderland half on the left-hand side for them, on the right-hand side for us. Goalkeeper for Sunderland, Patterson, comes up to take it. He sends it long and diagonal where all the Leeds players and all the Sunderland players are. Leeds head it away. It drops to the feet of Alan Brown, who basically, as it's kind of bouncing, he just like, you know when it bounces and then you hit it, like it's an instant half volley, like it just bounced and then hit. He just did that, but he just tried to like lift it back into the box for a Sunderland player. Just bounced over everybody. It lifted over everybody and bounced towards the Leeds goal. Meslier comes out to what you would think is like one of the easiest things for a goalkeeper to do, just to pick the ball up. It bounces. He's going for it like this. He's going to catch it. It just rolls. It bounces straight past him and into the goal. He turns back and looks at the ground as if it's taken some sort of bobble. I don't think it did. Either he's seeing double because he's concussed from where Strauch like nearly knocked him out earlier in the game with his thigh straight to the head. Either he's slightly concussed and he's seeing double a little bit, in which case he should have been taken off under the concussion protocol if they were ever worried about that. And then there is no other excuse. There is no other excuse, really. There's no other option. Like, what? I looked at it. I've looked at the replay. I've seen it 3 or 4 times now. I don't see anywhere that it bobbled or anything like that. It just bounced straight past him, like he just completely misjudged it, like he couldn't see where it was. But unless you've got a concussion, I don't understand how that can even possibly happen. Now, that's a terrible mistake from Meslier. It's awful. It's cost us 2 points. We were going to win the game 2-1. We've gone from 3 points to 1 point. What I want to say is, Illan Meslier is a human being. He is just a man. He is not trying to do that. He's trying his best to do the best he possibly can for Leeds United. At no point is he ever trying to do anything wrong. So whilst you might say, oh yeah, that's very annoying. Look, I'm annoyed. But as an adult, obviously, if you're not the type of person who would go and say anything, then this isn't aimed at you. But if you're the type of person who would go online and start spouting stuff off about Illan Meslier, calling him names, making references to his nationality, which has got nothing to do with anything, just don't. You're an adult. Meslier is just trying to do his best for the team. If you can't see that, and you can't see that it's an honest mistake, and he's not meant to do it, there's no point getting angry, because what's it going to achieve? You're not going to suddenly rewind time and bring the ball back out of the goal, and you calling him horrendous names online isn't going to change Farke's mind about playing him in the team. So just don't do it. Those aren't the only reasons not to do it. Don't do it if you're a decent human being. Don't go online and give people abuse. I went on the hidden replies of the tweet that Leeds put out saying that the game ended in a draw. It's at the time I looked, it had been 5 minutes since the end of the game. People all the way down just saying horrendous things about him. Look, just don't do it. Just don't do it. When will we learn that it's not okay to abuse people online? He's a human being. He's made a mistake. It's very annoying. It's cost us some points. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. So Leeds have drawn away at the Stadium of Light, 2-2 against the league leaders. And now we go into an international break. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately. A bit of a serious message at the end there, but please just take it on board, because it's ridiculous to abuse people online. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.